Turning to the Oscars, the nominations came out this morning. The Revenant scores the most noms, 12. Fandango Frontrunners host Dave Karger is with us from New York. Dave, this is Leo's 5th acting nomination. Will this be, yes, the year he wins?
Yes, it will be. We can say that with some certainty. The Revenant is on such a roll. It wins the most Golden Globes over the weekend. It has an almost $40 million opening weekend, and then it gets the most Oscar nominations, 12. That's an incredible achievement. Even Tom Hardy, Leo's co-star, after getting no big nominations this year for any of the other awards, got in there for Best Supporting Actor. So that's a really, really strong showing for that movie.
I didn't even understand a word Tom Hardy said in that movie, but he was very good.
It was all in the face right there. Which spot did he take? Which spot did he take?
Well, a bunch of people he kind of bumped out. I think you could say he bumped out Idris Elba for Beasts of No Nation. He bumped out little 9-year-old Jacob Tremblay for Room. Maybe Paul Dano for Love and Mercy. Best Supporting Actor was, I think, the most crowded of the 4 acting categories this year. So you knew a lot of people were going to be left out, and those are the ones who were.
And we're looking to the far right there. Sylvester Stallone. Is he, if you look at all those names, wow, just great. I don't know Mark Rylance. I have to be not familiar, too familiar with his work. But I will say, Sly is the favorite in that category, isn't he?
He got the huge cheer when his name was read out.
Well, Stallone was definitely the favorite in the room. You heard the crowd go crazy when they said his name. Interestingly, Stallone is the only person in that category who is nominated for a movie that's not also nominated for Best Picture. And to answer your question, Billy, I am probably the world's biggest Mark Rylance fan. He's a 3-time Tony winner. I've seen him live on stage in New York and London. I think he's amazing, so I'm very excited to see him get nominated.
Of course you have, because you're Dave Karger.
Yeah, you're the great Dave Karger.
Is he going to take it over Sly Stallone? I think Sly's the favorite here. There's too much nostalgia and love.
It's going to be a very close race. I think if I had to pick a winner today, I would probably say Stallone. But because you have these 4 other guys who are nominated from Best Picture nominees, you can't say it's a sure thing. It could be even Christian Bale. Think back to Christoph Waltz, who won Best Supporting Actor twice within a couple of years of each other. Same thing could happen with Christian Bale. Big Short is coming on strong.
Let's look at frontrunner for Best Actress. Everybody in the category nominated except for Charlotte Rampling for 45 years. Who do you like in this category?
Well, I love that Charlotte Rampling was nominated. That's a great movie. And Saoirse Ronan, you know, Brooklyn is my favorite movie of the year, so I was really happy to see her in there. Room is actually my 2nd favorite movie of the year, so I'm happy to see Brie Larson nominated as well. I think Brie Larson is going to win. I think the movie is beloved by the Academy. It got Best Picture and Best Director and Screenplay nominations, as well as the nomination for Brie Larson. I think Jennifer Lawrence, she's kind of like an automatic nomination at this point. You know, she'll do a movie, and whether the movie gets nominated or not, I think she will, kind of like Meryl Streep does nowadays. But I think it's going to be Brie for the win.
What about? I've never heard of Charlotte Rampling. Again, it just I'm like the
never been nominated.
Give me something here. I feel like negligent. I should be.
Charlotte Rampling is about to turn 70. She's a French actress who acts sometimes in French, sometimes in English. She has this movie called 45 Years that's just beginning to come out, and if you happen to live near a theater where it's playing, I would recommend you see it. It's great.
Of course, you know all about Charlotte Rampling. Again, look
right
at
off the top of his head.
He's
That's
an encyclopedia.
Snubs out there. No Will Smith for Concussion. Were you surprised by this?
Well, I could kind of sense his momentum fading over the last couple of weeks. The movie didn't do great commercially. He did get that Golden Globe nomination, but I had the sense that these other guys like Eddie Redmayne, Michael Fassbender, Leo, Bryan Cranston, they were going to get those spots instead of Will Smith. Yet again, we have a year where there are no actors of color nominated for an Oscar. So no Will Smith, no Idris Elba, no Michael B. Jordan. I would have liked to have seen some of those guys in there. Even Straight Outta Compton was nominated for screenplay, but its screenwriters are white. So that was a little bit of a bummer there.
No Ridley Scott for Best Director. You, I think, said that this was Ridley Scott's year to win. Yes. The picture gets nominated. The actor gets nominated, speaking of The Martian, but not the director. He directed the picture and the actor.
Yeah.
I don't get it, guys. That's the biggest head scratcher for me of the day. This is the equivalent of Ben Affleck not getting nominated a couple of years ago for Best Director for Argo. I don't understand it. The only thing I can imagine is that maybe Ridley Scott's name made it on a whole bunch of ballots, but he was a lot of people's number 2 or 3 choice, and you really need to be people's number 1 choice in order to get nominated. And if you look at the 5 guys that did get nominated, they're people who have that really fervent following and people love those movies, and that's why they went for it. So The Martian was a little bit of an underperformer today. I thought it was going to get double-digit nominations, 10 nominations. It got 7, still very decent, but there were 3 categories: editing, cinematography, and best director, where it was not included.
I love seeing Gaga on there. That was a fun one. Nominated for Till It Happens to You, for The Hunting Ground. She could go for an EGOT if she can get the Oscar?
Well, unfortunately, the G in EGOT doesn't stand for Golden Globe. It stands for Grammy.
I know.
But I wonder, does she have a Grammy?
Grammys. She can win a Tony if she can just get the Oscar in there.
Oh my God, that'd be great. Well, she's got A-list competition because also nominated for Best Song are The Weeknd from 50 Shades of Grey and Sam Smith for the James Bond theme. So who knows what could happen. And then Lady Gaga's co-screenwriter, Diane Warren, I think this is her 8th nomination. She's one of the top pop songwriters out there. She's never won. So Lady Gaga could help Diane Warren win her first Oscar, which would be very cool.
Talk about Best Picture for a second. So in 2011, they changed the rules. It used to be only 5, and now
it's
8.
Too many.
8 pictures can get nominated for Best Picture. Bridge of Spies is in there. Good to see The Big Short. You Loved Brooklyn. Mad Max follows The Revenant with 10 nominations overall, so they're all over the place. Is there a glaring omission here, Dave?
Yeah, so just to fill out what you were saying, the new rules allow for anywhere between 5 and 10 nominees. People who are even nerdier about this stuff than I am, hard to believe but true, say that it's almost mathematically impossible for there to be 10, so usually there's going to be 8 or 9. So last year there were 8, this year there were 8. There were a couple that I think were omitted. I thought Carol was going to get nominated, and it did get 6 nominations, including Screenplay and Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara. It's the critical favorite, but it clearly was not the Academy's favorite. I'm sure it came close, but it didn't get in. No Star Wars, even though it did get 5 technical nominations, and then no Straight Outta Compton, even though it did get a screenplay nomination. I think those are the big 3. And then I've heard some people a little bit upset that Inside Out wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but it's going to win Best Animated, so that'll be its moment right there.
It's The Revenant, right? The Revenant wins this thing, you think? What do you think?
I think so.
Well, here's the thing about The Revenant. The Revenant has an Achilles heel, guys, which is that in 20 years, no movie has won Best Picture without also being nominated for the Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Cast. And The Revenant was not nominated for that
Time to break the rules on that one. It's going to shatter that, Karger.
Maybe his most outstanding pearl of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But tons of pearls. You could throw anything at him.
He's a pearl tosser, this guy, all over the place.